Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. This is going to be my updated patch 12.22b tier list because I have some things wrong and some things were kind of overrated compared to where they should be, and I kind of want to adjust them. So I'm going to go through it pretty quickly because I've already done this one once. I think the biggest miss was definitely Sion and Cho'Gath are D tier champions. They are bad, like really bad at the moment. Heartsteel is not a good item. Most people seem to think it is, and okay, fair enough. In low elo, this item can be quite abusive. If you end up in good situations where you're more likely to in low elo, where you can continuously hit people, get your Heartsteel procs, you can ramp up really quickly with this item, but in high elo, it really flops. You can really struggle with this item. Plus, a better itemization of Sundra, Bork. These champs really need buffs, or the heart still needs to be buffed. It kind of falls flat, definitely in high elo. The other one's Rise. I thought it'd be better with Roa. I put him in C tier. He's gonna go back in the D tier. Malphite's the other one. Not doing as bad as where I put him. I put him in D originally. He's probably a C tier. Iceborne, games where you can play Iceborne Malphite, yeah, he's pretty good. But if he's not like able to play into, don't play him into non-AD comps because he just doesn't work into non-AD comps unless you go AP. But then AP is kind of weak in its own way, so it's a bit of a risk. But if you can execute AP Malphite, I guess you can play him most of the time. Silas will just go next to Malphite. He is a counter pick to he is like the strongest champ into Malphite, so where Malphite is, Silas is usually around it. The other one I had down here was Yone, who I think's B tier. I think Frostfire, is it Frostfire Yone? Yeah, I think Frostfire Yone in games where you can play it is pretty good. I'm actually gonna hold off on Yone because I need to. I'll go up in order. I think Volibear is another one who's really struggling at the moment without a particularly good core mythic. He can run both Heartsteel and he can run Syndra and he can run Frostfire, Iceborne. But all these items have their own like good cases, so you have to make a conscious choice. And on top of that, none of them are incredible for him, so he's just not doing too hot in the current meta. I think the one who's who's struggling on this patch definitely is Vladimir. He doesn't have the damage he needs to burst down the Heartsteel users because so many people are building this item and using it. Plus, there's more health in the current game compared to last season. He's definitely not as strong top lane as he used to be. Plus, I'm pretty sure people are using Heartsteel on him, so he kind of does what's in the data anyway. I think Vayne is a B tier. She's good into the Heartsteel champs. You've got to play her where she's good. Wins into Darius. I'm pretty sure she can also win into Camille and Fiora, but you have to be really careful on how you use Condemn, and that is its own kind of like battle. Gnar can also go down here. He doesn't have bad items. Like Sundra and Gnar and Triforce Gnar are still going to be pretty good if you build them in the right circumstances. He now has Iceborne as an option. His win rate's probably lower because of Heartsteel, and the meta kind of counters him. When Gnar isn't strong, he buffed to be strong, then he usually sits kind of 49% win rate ish. So he isn't bad, but he's not outstanding either. You can go next to Vayne. Renekton benefited from Shojin, definitely. I have to build him lethality, and he's an A tier champion. I reckon that if you build Renekton correctly at the moment, he is probably A tier. But because so many people are building him Gold Drinker, he probably sits around B. Tom Kench is getting buffed next patch, but for the moment, he's also around B. He's a good Heartsteel user. Can build the other tank mythics as well. You have a lot of options with Tom. Sejuani got tanked with this patch. Doesn't have a particularly great mythic. Heartsteel is her best, from what I remember. But even then, she still struggles. She just doesn't do particularly well in the current meta. You have options, but none of them excel. Yasuo, I'm pretty sure, is another champ, which is good when you build him as a Frostfire, as an Iceborne Bork user now. Like, Yone and Yasuo kind of got the same treatment with that, where both of them now balk Iceborne because it's stronger, but you have to play them into AD laners because of it, and that makes it kind of conditional. Yasuo is definitely the weaker of the two. He's probably C tier. He actually loses to a decent amount of these, whereas Yone is probably top of B. Akali I put down in C, I'm pretty sure last time. Yep. I'm gonna leave her in C. I think she also kind of struggles in the top lane at the moment. Not as good kill thresholds as they used to be. Magic resist items didn't really take much of a hit. Turbo Chem Tank's now an option, and you could always go Spirits and Fon. They were both pretty good items. Mundo, even though he's low elo skewed, isn't bad in high elo at the moment. Yeah, he's Heartsteel bound, which definitely amps him in low elo as well, but he can work. He's a good lane holder. He's probably a B tier champ. He can work, definitely. I think Yorick is probably C tier. I put Yorick B last time. I think he can probably stay in B. Definitely Triforce. He's like Trundle. You have to build Triforce on this champion, otherwise he really struggles. Sunder doesn't give him the all in and the tower taking potential, which he gets with Triforce. Plus Conqueror, I'm pretty sure, is his best keystone at the moment, so that also works with Triforce significantly better. Gragas, AP Gragas always wasn't too hot in the top. Well, it hasn't been too hot in the top lane recently. Plus more health. Plus the tank build doesn't do as hot as it used to do. He's around B tier, probably a low B tier champ as well. But he can work into some matchups, like Jax, I'm pretty sure he still dominates the matchup. Cassante, which I now have. Woohoo! Probably around high BA. Like, Cassante is really good with Jax show now. Definitely a champion worth considering. I think Teemo got hurt by this patch, but I think if you build him as a Leandro, I think it's Nash's, actually, you can go like PTA Fleet, and then you can go Nash's Leandries. There are a couple of options. You can also go Riftmaker. He's probably also around B tier. Kale. Kale is also probably B tier. Does need to get buffed. If Kale's sat beneath a 52% win rate, then she's usually on the weaker side. That's usually how it lines up. Got buffed by this patch, definitely. Kale is better than before. Playable champion, but not as good as she should be. Nasus is an A tier champion, really solid at the moment. Has a lot of options. He can almost scrape into S tier, I reckon. Very slept on as a champion. Also kind of irritating. Okay, Jace was something I got really wrong. I thought Jace was still terrible. No one really plays Jace, but I'm going to go all the way from D tier Jace to B tier. I think Jace has definitely got a lot more potential than he used to. Isn't anywhere near as bad as well. So, worth trying if you want to get good of a champion. Gwen is also around here. High skill champ. A good AP/true damage mix as well. Can 1v9 games if you have an enchanter. Definitely an option. Got buffed as well. Not a bad spot. Poppy's good because she counters the meta. That's mostly why she's good. I think if the meta wasn't what it was, then Poppy would fall a bit. She might even be A tier. She really hard counters the meta right now. Quinn is in need of a rework. Can't even find the champion. Let's go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Quinn's also probably B tier. Doesn't really excel at anything at the moment. Can roam quite well. Very unpopular champion. Loses to a lot of the meta. Also struggles into tankier comps. Can build Bork though, so not too bad against Heartsteel users, but very early game skewed and can struggle against a lot of the current top lane pool. Ornn is A/B. Ornn kind of got tanked by this patch. Definitely build him as Jax show, and then he is definitely an A tier, like a high A tier champ. But I see so many Heartsteel Ornns, and the item's not good on him, so don't build it. Don't do it. Lilia. I'm pretty sure Lilia is really broken with Demonics and Leandries at the moment. Demonics and Jax show at the moment, so that is worth trying. I think you go Demonics first into, yeah, Demonics into Jax show. Not a lot of games on it at the moment, but from what I can tell and from what people have said to me, that it is really good. Probably borderline S tier. Is it Lily or even? Oh yeah, I put Lily here. Yeah, Lily is good. You can also run Phase Rush, Conqueror. I think that's about it for Keystones in the top lane, but definitely some options into the type of champion you're against. Novori, Tryndamere. Yeah, they're kind of like a pairing at this point. I'm pretty sure Novori makes Tryndamere really good, but I don't know for certain. Definitely gonna have to do some more looking into that. Let's have a look. Novori to IE. Yeah, Novori's definitely his best third item. Probably worth playing, honestly. Like, very, very strong. High win rate. Also, Tryndamere is pretty good into a lot of the champions in the current meta. A lot of them are AD threats. Top lane's never usually AP dominated unless mid laners are playing top. But yeah, Tryndamere, definitely an A tier champion. Could be higher if more people build Novori, but I'll leave him here for the moment. Set is someone I'm going to continuously leave in the S tier because I used to say he was really bad, and I still don't think he's amazing, but he wins against a lot of the top lane champs, plus people are building him incorrectly. He has a lot of options: Bork, Gore Drinker, Stride Breaker, Triforce even. Don't build Heartsteel on him, it's bad. Please stop it, it's why his win rate is tanking. Yeah, Set's good, definitely try Set. If you want a easier champ. Aurelia is the kind of like, if you want a harder champ to play, then play Aurelia. I can't find Aurelia. Let's go. Woo. She's somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. I like how Kennen isn't really even played in the top lane at the moment. Where is Kennen? I can't find the electric rat. Yeah, anyway, Kennen's pretty bad at the moment. He suffers from similar issues to a lot of these champs where, yeah, he's playable into certain things, but he doesn't have any tank killing capabilities unless you build him completely as a drain tank. But at that point, why would you be playing Kennen? So yeah. I'm gonna I'll leave Gross here for the moment. Yeah, Pantheon is pretty good. Pantheon's always been able to kill tanks. It's kind of like a myth that he can't. Yeah, he's early game skewed, but he can build Bork with PTA, and it makes him really, really solid into a lot of the tanks at the moment. Urgot's probably the strongest he's been for a while now. He has options, but lethality is usually his best way to go. I'd put him as a low A. He could also be B, but I don't think he's as bad as Quinn. He's a lot better potential within the game and scaling than Quinn does. Garen's always underestimated in high-low. People will call him really bad, but there is room for this champion. He's probably around BA. I'd say he's probably a low A as well. There is room for the champ, definitely. Can win into a lot of the champs as well, which are reliant on their abilities. Alawi, definitely good at the moment. Can go Triforce, Syndra, Iceborne. Any champ which can kind of go those three is pretty good at the moment because they have a lot of options on what they can do. Probably a high A. Mordekaiser, the best, once again, the best anti-meta, beats most of the meta champions. Loses to Fiora, but beats the rest. So if you're playing Mord, ban Fiora, definitely. Of which, I'll leave her there for the moment. I'm getting rid of Shyvana. Shyvana's not played enough anymore. F in chat. There's just no point putting her up here. Jaime is also another one she's kind of faded. But Jaime does work, and I will put him up here. He's probably like a B tier champ. Maybe even A. Leandri's is really strong on him into tanky comps. Jax is an S. Jax is really, really strong. Shojin was a godsend for him, basically. Plus, he's getting changed. Plus, he's good. Like Syndra, Iceborne, Triforce, another one of those champs which can kind of go them all. He can go Bork as well. It works quite nicely. Shen is definitely an S. The Premier, we nailed it. Supportive tank top laner. Definitely. I think he's very unique, and I'm glad he stays in the meta often. Warwick! Definitely better. Warwick's around A to S. I put him down in B because I didn't really think much of his champ. But Warwick's had a lot of love this preseason. Ravenous, some of the tank items are really nice on him. He has a lot of build diversity, and that actually makes him really good. He is, unironically, an A tier champion, which is weird because I would always put him down here as like a cheese pick. So I would do the same with Pantheon, but Pantheon is also doing quite well at the moment as well. Rumble. Yeah, Rumble's like a B tier champ. Suffers from not being able to find lethal thresholds on a lot of them. Also, very hard to min-max. Can actually hurt him in some situations. Heat mechanics, clunky, but I mean, it's his unique selling point. Wukong is also an S tier champ, really good at the moment. Can beat a lot of the top laners. Is a lane bully, can scale, can have build options. Yeah, very good. Also Ravenous champion. GP, probably an A tier champ. GP's pretty strong at the moment. I think Navori. I think if you're building Navori, GP is an S tier. I'm gonna put him in S tier because there is a lot you can do with his champion if you go Navori on him. Navori makes a lot of champs really strong, but the lack of build on the lack of the item being built at the moment, kind of hides it. Kled is also an S tier champ. Ravenous also makes him really strong. Plus he counters a lot of the healing based champs in the top lane. I'm also going to put Rengar up here. Shojin, Gore Drinker, very nice for Rengar. Essence Reaver, Eclipse if you're going with more lethality focused build. I think Riven falls down a tier maybe. I'll put her in S because she can also run Ravenous. But if Ravenous was to get nerfed, then I think she loses against a lot of the strongest champs at the moment. So that hurts her. I'm going to put... Some of these champs actually don't appear a lot top lane at the moment. I like how I hovered over these two. Yeah, I'm going to put Aatrox in S tier. Aatrox is really strong at the moment. Higher health bars. Plus, he can go Shojin, I'm pretty sure. I think it's good on him. I can't remember. Why is Aatrox performing well? Oh yeah, Jack-Show Aatrox is on the rise at the moment. That might be something which is really good on him. I think I talked about it during my Jack-Show video. It's a definite option. Yeah, Ravenous Rush Aatrox, Eclipse still being really strong on him. You can go Ravenous, you can go... What would the build be? You go Ravenous Eclipse into Shrouders. Really, really strong. Then he's probably like, if you built that every single game, he's probably like around he's probably higher than S tier, around SS tier, because at that point he's so strong. But so like it's built very few times. So yeah, Singed, it's probably an S tier champ. Demonics, Ryalize into Jack-Show is his best build. Really, really good at the moment. I don't sleep on this champion. Camille, I'm going to drop down from SS. I think Camille actually got tagged harder by the Ravenous changes than Fiora. And I'm going to put Fiora. I think Fiora sits in this tier alone. I think Fiora is the strongest champ in the game. Probably needs to be nerfed. Yeah, I think that probably holds up. Yeah, really good champion. Got a couple left here. Olaf is an S tier champ. Pretty solid at the moment. Loses to very few things. Can probably beat almost every single top laner, unless the top laner's kind of got like a unique thing against him, which some of them might. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but yeah, Olaf's really good, can dominate lane, but you have to be really careful because if you fall behind on Olaf, then the champ becomes kind of useless. I think Trundle kind of falls around the same. Trundle's slightly better than Yorick. I think Trundle falls in high B. I think Rumble also goes down a bit. Maokai got completely gutted with the preseason. Falls quite a bit. Probably a C tier champ. Where did I put Maokai last time? I put him in B. I actually didn't have a lot of champs in the C and D tier. Right, I'm gonna put a couple in it this time. What other ones have I got left here? Swain, really good in the top lane at the moment. Actually beats so many of the top lane champions. Yeah, Swain's probably a low A tier champ. Can beat a lot. Also, he's fun. He is a very fun champion in my opinion. But yeah, Liandry's Jack-Show. He has a couple of options. He can also go Radiant Virtue if you're unable to really go Jack-Show that effectively. Ryalize Rush is also an option if you're not needing the Liandry's. Yeah, he has a couple of options. You can also go Imperial Mandate if you're feeling really spicy. I need to do more testing for Ravenous Graves. I don't even know if I put him on my last one. I'm gonna put him as A. I think there is options here, and I think he. I'll put it on B. He's got he struggles for lethal. Like his lethal is really bad early laning phase because you can see it coming from a mile away. So he doesn't tend to kill people, but you can really easy push waves and then just farm up, become a monster in the late game if you choose to go the lethality build, the CDR build, or the crit build. Definitely a lot of options there. Cassie is probably around B tier. I don't think Roa is her best, sadly. I'm going to make a video on Roa probably next time. But yeah, I put her in A tier. I think I overdid it with the... I presumed Roa would make her stronger, but Roa was just bad beforehand, like really bad. I think it's a good item now, but Leandries is super strong at the moment, and Leandries is probably one of the best mythics in the game, if not the best. Akshan top is hardly played. It's a pain in the ass to go against. He will always sit around here. He's better. He's like the better Quinn, in my opinion. So yeah, if you want to play a Quinn-like champion, play Akshan because he has more potential as a champion, definitely. Plus, he's less likely to be reworked. Karma is around B tier. It has a lot of options. I think Roa by far is her best mythic, but you can go Moonstone, you can go Shurelias, you can go what was the other one? Night Harvester. Yeah, there are a couple of options on what you can do on Karma. I think because of those options, it actually makes her a pretty okay champion. You can play it into most things as well. It's a very safe laner. Udyr top is AD focused. He's like Trundle in a way, very reliant on brute force and stat checking you. But Halo Blades or Conqueror, you can just delete people in this champion with his Q and power. Zac also took a hit from the preseason. Zac's around Citrani. I don't think he's as bad as Maokai because he never was as bad as Maokai. But yeah, that's probably it. That's probably the updated week 2 of 12.22 B tier list. I don't think that too much is going to change for the next week, so this will probably stay true for the remainder of it. We'll probably see a decent chunk of balance changes, though, for 12.23, as some champs are just way too strong, and some are terrible, basically unplayable. So we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.